So you're watching the news and they say property values are crashing, the worst recession in the history of the world is coming, and then they're like, okay, so we were wrong about the foreclosure flood of 2020 and 2021 and 2022, but if we keep guessing, we'll eventually be right. And eventually they will. So today we're going to talk about what to know about buying a house in Los Angeles during a down market. First, we'll take a historical look at house prices in Los Angeles in the past 40 years to see what history can teach us. And then I'll share 3 recession-proof strategies for buying a house in Los Angeles in any market coming up. And let's start with a little bit of history on housing prices in Los Angeles. Now, in the past 40 years, there's been three real estate crashes. First, in the early 1980s with the savings and loan crisis. Now, interesting, in 1981, in an attempt to combat high inflation, interest rates rose to as high as 18%. Home sales dropped dramatically, and real estate agents, well, really struggled to make money. But interestingly, according to this chart from the Federal Reserve Economic data in Los Angeles County, the high interest rates did not result in any significant drop in home prices. Real estate crash number 2, early 1990s, which some say was really kind of like an extension of the savings and loan crisis. Now, from peak to bottom, home prices in Los Angeles County dropped by about 20%. Now, keep in mind, that's from peak to bottom. That means you would have had to have the incredible luck of timing the market twice, at purchase and at selling, to get the worst case scenario of a 20% decline. Real estate crash number 3, the infamous Great Recession. Now, interestingly, during this period, while some of the lower end neighborhoods of Los Angeles dropped by like over 50%, the high end neighborhoods on the west side of Los Angeles dropped only by about 20%, again from peak to bottom. So more expensive neighborhoods tend to fare better during a recession. And if we look at the market today on the west side of Los Angeles, similar to the 1980s, interest rates have risen, sales are dramatically down, but as of November 2022, while we have had month-over-month declines, we have yet to see a year-over-year drop in values, to which you may be like, well, that doesn't make sense. If interest rates are up and sales are down, according to the textbook, prices should go down. Yes, but surprise, inventory, it's still low. And according to a report by Up for Growth, the US in general has a big housing shortage, and California is the state with the biggest shortage. And the highest concentration of that shortage in California is in the greater Los Angeles area, which also represents the metro area with the biggest housing shortage in the country. And coincidentally, Los Angeles is considered one of the toughest cities to build housing. And just for kicks, according to an article published in 2017 by the Wall Street Journal, Venice Beach in Los Angeles is the toughest place in the country to build housing, which kind of explains why that $6,000 apartment in Venice Beach looks like a homeless shelter in Missouri. But anyway, despite all of this, in conclusion, after extensively studying the history of property values in Los Angeles and the current market, here are the biggest takeaways. 1, the market is unpredictable, irrational, and the textbooks don't make sense. 2, real estate is local and national news don't apply. And 3, the only thing guaranteed in real estate is that prices will go up and they will go down, but if you wait long enough, they will eventually go up. Now, to all of this, you may be like, well, that was a total waste of time, but no, because now you can stop focusing on what you don't have control over, the market, and start focusing on what you do have control over, which leads me to the 3 strategies to consider when buying a house in Los Angeles to protect yourself against a real estate downturn. And by the way, my name is Daniel Rangel, real estate agent in Los Angeles. If I can be of any help, it would be an honor. But more importantly, if you like this video, make sure to hit like or subscribe. Number 1, the biggest hedge against the real estate down market is time. The longer you hold, the less likely you are to be affected by a recession. Now, that being said, do not Do not buy something you can't foresee yourself holding onto for minimum 5 years, ideally 10 years, and well, super ideally until well, you die. This is also incredibly important if you're financing the purchase, as most mortgages are typically front-loaded, which means, as you can see in this graph, the majority of the interest is paid during the first few years of the loan. I mean, year number one, you're pretty much throwing your money away in interest. You want to hold on long enough so that your monthly payments actually get a chance to have an impact on reducing the amount of money that you owe to the lender. So if you ever plan on getting married or having kids, do not buy a one-bedroom condo unless you're okay keeping it as a rental. Also, if you're in a position to buy a single-family house, do it. A single-family house allows you more opportunity to grow into it. I mean, if you end up needing more space, you can add another bedroom, want a second story, you can do it. Need more income, build another unit. A single family house as opposed to a condo allows more flexibility, which can translate into you being able to hold on to the property longer, which can allow you to weather the ups and downs of the real estate market. And the longer you hold, the bigger impact you can have on reducing the principal balance of the loan. And let me clarify, that's not to say condos are bad. They have many benefits. Just consider one that fits into your long-term plan. You don't want to find out you need more space in the middle of a recession. Strategy number 2 to protect yourself against a real estate downturn: buy when you're ready to buy and don't buy when you're not ready to buy. And I get it, this sounds like stupid practical advice, but how many people can you think of that have cars that you know, financially speaking, they should not have, or purses, or dinners? And this happens all the time in real estate. And just because you qualify for a mortgage does not mean you can afford to buy a house. Mortgage qualifications pretty much allow you to be like, well, Mr. Lender, technically, if I eat cup of noodles every single day for the next 30 years, I'll be able to afford my mortgage payments. And they're like, all right, cool, sounds good to me. Being ready to buy a house means, 1, the down payment is big enough to make the monthly payments comfortable so that you're still living below your means, you can still afford to go on vacation, save for retirement, give to charity, and so that if a recession does come, you can weather through it. 2, being ready to buy a house also means that the cost to buy doesn't represent all the money you got. If down payment and closing costs represent all the money you have, don't buy a house. After closing the transaction, you should have an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of living expenses minimum to cover repairs, which are pretty much guaranteed cost of home ownership. Also, if a recession does come, you don't have to jump ship at the first bump in the road. I'm not quite sure what the ship is doing on the road, but you get the point. Also, keep in mind that moving into a new house costs money. I mean, a moving company can charge around $2,000 or more, but really that's kind of the least of it. Unless you plan on living in an empty box, also consider the cost of furnishing a place. And just to give you a little taste, this throw pillow, $50. And that's just decoration for your sofa. And number 3, being ready to buy a house means you can afford to buy something that you can reasonably expect to live in or hold on to for minimum 5 years, ideally 10 years, and well, super ideally until you die. Now, to all of this, you may be like, whoa, that is a ridiculous amount of money that I have to save, which is it's valid. But before you start complaining, take a look at your spending habits. Are you chasing concerts all year long? Are you buying every new iPhone that comes out? Did you just spend your annual income on a new car? If so, you, my friend, you don't get to complain. Now, if this is not you, then yeah, you're totally allowed to complain. Real estate in Los Angeles is expensive. Strategy number 3 to protect yourself against a real estate downturn: buy the least expensive house in the most expensive neighborhood, subject to, well, several factors. The thing is, you can't control if you buy at the top or bottom of the market, but you can control if you buy at the top or bottom price range in a specific neighborhood. Buy the $1.5 million house in the neighborhood that has houses selling for like up to $4 million, which is possible in Los Angeles in neighborhoods like Westchester. The thing is, generally speaking, a house can increase in value in 2 ways. 1, like investing in stocks, you kind of, well, just sit around and wait for the market to go up. And 2, unlike stocks, you forcefully increase value by making upgrades or improvements to the property. Now, with the $4 million house, you're you're pretty much maxed out. There's no more room for forced appreciation. It likely already has the best kitchen, constructed to the fullest. I mean, at this point, you're pretty much going wherever the market tells you you're going. On the other hand, the $1.5 million house, if there is a recession and prices do go down, you can make up for that loss or sometimes even outperform the market by adding, I don't know, a new kitchen or bathrooms. The point is, the least expensive house in the most expensive neighborhood has potential, like $4 million worth of potential. And yes, while it's not the best looking house on the block, it typically will bring you more comfortable and sustainable monthly payments, which can better allow you to weather financial hardships. It can also allow you more flexibility to make modifications to expand as your situation changes, which in turn can translate into you owning the house longer. And the longer you own the house, well, the more money you will typically make. Also on the subject, remember, you can always change the house, but you can't change the neighborhood. In summary, are property values in Los Angeles going to tank? Is the foreclosure flood finally coming in 2024? I have no idea. I know people who are still waiting for the foreclosure flood of 2015 and a bunch of other people, pretty much the whole world, who never saw the Great Recession of 2008 coming. The point is, we don't have control over the market, but we do have control over how we choose to buy, and some strategies that can help protect your investment independent of the market. 1, don't buy something you can't reasonably foresee yourself holding onto for minimum 5 years, ideally 10 years, and well, super ideally until you die. 2, the best time to buy is when you're financially ready to buy. And 3, buy the least expensive house in the most expensive neighborhood. And by the way, my name is Daniel Rangel, real estate agent in Los Angeles. If I can be of any help, it would be an honor. But more importantly, if you like this video, make sure to hit like or subscribe to get more Los Angeles real estate related videos. But either way, thanks a bunch for watching and have an awesome day.